Okay, so we're gonna do a walk around on this. I got the truck out today and just kind of clean some shit off it. I'm about to do some wiring. The wind has died down enough. I can probably do a walk around on this. So I'll probably spend about 10 minutes maybe. I promise it won't be longer than that. But go around this thing and kind of give a whatever. Also thinking while I've been doing this, I've been keeping in mind this is a two-wheel drive truck. And kind of like think trophy truck, but without the big dick swinging money spending, like budget. What does it take to have just a budget? Think like a Baja Bug, you know, just a little more travel, a little more upsprung, little cooler, right? And we'll get into it. So this was a two-wheel drive 96 f150, and it had when I bought this truck, it had a two and a half inch, probably 2.5 inch, but if you get one of these kits, know that half inch settles out and then some. So what I had was a situation where the ass end was sitting upright, but the front end was just annoyingly pissed me off. So these are 31 1050 15s. We now have tons of clearance for a 33 1250 15. I like to see some wheel well and see my stuff, you know. I could give a fuck how big the tire is. It's just, you know, like this to me this looks right. So but you can go bigger, there's lots of room. And yeah, so you get a progressive coil with this setup, whatever it is. It's a pro comp kit. I keep saying rough country, whatever, it's pro comp. Anyway, that progressive coil, you see how the space is tightened up there? That's what you're looking for. But what I did was, if you look at underneath the shock, I put, see the spacers under the shock and then under the coil? So that's an inch total, so that brought the front end up. But as far as ride quality goes, these springs are superior. However, know if you're buying the kit, the shocks are going to be garbage. If you were to pair these with a nice Bilstein or like a Fox shock or something, it would be fucking dynamite. But with these shocks, right, and then also know if you daily drive down gravel and kind of brutal roads, you will eat them up fast. So yeah, that's what it is. But it's got the right stance now. It's just an inch short. So while I've been doing this, I've been keeping in mind a set of kingpin style unequal length beams that you could bolt into a 90s style truck. Basically a bolt-in setup that gives you can take your rough country kit and give you this, you know, the corrected thing. Because but I mean, again, how to do it on a budget, how to sell it and whatever. But I keep these things in mind because I'm fucking weird. And if you look here, like, much nicer. So I kind of like the way these beams are kicked up a little bit, upsprung I call it. We'll see how it aligns. But yeah, I like it. And so I threw a drop pitman arm on it as well, because we're now 3.5 maybe inches. But you see, if you get to 4 inches for sure, you definitely, absolutely fucking need one of these. And as it was, you know, it'll be much better now. It's just, you can't see in the video, maybe you can, but the tie rod steering links follow the angle on our beams pretty close. So uneducated me says that's good. We'll go underneath the hood in a minute here, but we're gonna keep cruising, walk right around this thing. So it's on uneven ground. I haven't even fucking remotely aligned the front end, so it's gonna look a little cattywampus and funny, but definitely has the right look now. Totally worth lifting it. And yeah, man. So as far as the rear goes, these have the lift blocks in the back of the lift kit, and the shocks, again, the shocks are shit. I've changed the leaf spring hangers in the back. But what a nice truck. What a nice setup. I like this. So this is and then the dual fuel. I've kept dual fuel electric tanks, but what I've done is I've converted this truck to carbureted. I've eliminated the AC, and then I've converted the heater to run 70 style with this, and then molded this into the dash bezel. Okay, so custom brackets, custom everything. If you got one of these trucks and you're like, hey, I wonder how he did that, check it out. This is a stock shift trans cover that's been modified. So the stock units are galvanized. They're just sitting underneath your thing, and they got a cool look to them. So we'll get into this. Down there you can see fuse panel and wire harness. Focus, you bitch. Are out of a 70s F500 dump truck. Okay. Underneath on the bottom there where all the terminals are coming off, that little bulkhead, that's off of a 90s GM, but they're handy. And then 70s wire harness coming in. I've converted the 90s heater to run 70s style. So if you look, I'm sure if you can see, the light is just fucked in here. But yeah, maybe you can't see. Fuck this shit. But whatever. You have to notch it because see, your levers and everything are extended, so you have to clearance. Notch and make a filler panel. See if you can see. You can kind of see. But yeah, and this was an automatic truck, so this is manual swapped. And then I modified this trans tunnel. So this is 70s F500 stuff. I kept the original gauges, but this is a vacuum gauge for they didn't have air brakes, they had vacuum brakes. So, and then I cut part of the bezel and made this custom little pod. So fuel pumps 1, fuel pump 2, those are your switches. And that's blank marker. That's from the dump truck, but I'm keeping that. That's pretty cool. These flashes your marker lights. It's a way of communicating back in the day amongst truckers. So anyway, yeah, I got the dash bezel. Check out my videos. The same thing. I've got the 70s style gauges to matches the harness, but molded into the 90s bezel so it bolts right in. Down here is what I'm getting to next. So I've got to get my relays wired in and mounted in here for my fuel pumps and shit. But yeah, man, it's coming along. And if you can, I don't know if you can kind of tell, but all of this extra harness that I've had to run all came from the original harness that I've deleted from the EFI. So you get all this extra shit. But look, big, heavy gauge, quality shit. You know, go to a store and buy this. It's fucked. So, yeah, man, definitely glad that I recycled a good harness, especially from a vintage truck. Extended cab. These are actually cool. I didn't like these at first, but they're embroidered and they're out of an International Eagle big rig truck. So knowing that now, they're staying. That's cool. Big rig trucker stuff. Rough repairs on the drip rail floorboard area here. Still got to do the weather stripping. New hinges. Everything's pretty much been changed. New hinges, latches, not new, but good ones from a parts truck to replace the fucked ones that were in there. Even put hockey pucks in for rad support bushings, and they're the proper size. So if you got one of these trucks and you're on a budget, how you do her? You can see I'm not lying. Gaps are pretty decent. But we'll walk all the way around this thing, and then I'll show you under the hood because she is impressive, man. She is impressive. So this has the Mazda 5-speed in it, 2-wheel drive, so light rolling resistance in the drivetrain. That'll pair perfectly with the 302. So, I mean, really, this is nice. This is exactly what the doc ordered. Hey, Sam? Sam concurs. Well, here we go. Let's go in here. Cable's messed up. Can't imagine that, eh, Ford guys? Look. Here we go. Had to do the elbow trick. So, again, the lighting is whatever. But where to begin? So down here was where all your EFI bulkhead came through. Your original wire harness in here. So drill. This is our 70s stuff coming out. And then it comes out down here and runs down the frame rail. Okay. And then up to here to our wiper motors and everything. So, yeah. And again, I'll do it when it's all put together. You'll see we have a massive 70s and 90s and all kinds of shit. But okay, so fuel pressure regulator, cheapo Amazon unit, and it nestles in nicely right about there, just below the slave cylinder. So again, slave cylinder has been thrown in. These it's just a direct bolt out, bolt in deal, which is nice. But you need a parts truck with this really, because the brackets and the pedals and the right. Plus, it's just more shit. And one thing I've learned doing this is you need lots of shit. Again here, 70s harness. 70s harness. You know, so got to put our battery in. 302 Ford converted to carburetor. So we've got a Holley 600. It's a vintage Holley. See the part numbers and list numbers on the floatbowl? Not part numbers, sorry. Patent numbers. But just basic shit. Edelbrock, cheap as you can get fucking air filter. V6. This is an 8-inch air cleaner, or sorry, 10-inch. V6 GM 80s Chevs have a 3-inch by 10, 3.5 by 10 filter element. So, I mean, then you have an existing part number you can grab. That's what I'll be doing. More filter element, more better. HEI distributor, if you're putting these in a Ford. Note, I had clearance issues here, and you might too, on this runner. Luckily I was able to notch it enough that it sat down like it should. But yeah, AC delete, so I deleted this whole tower that the pump, see here? There's a other half of it went up, way up here. And then now I can get my advanced sitting. What I view it as to be correct. I'm a bit of a weirdo. And then just trim cut paint and shit. This is kind of interesting because I deleted the AC. I also wanted as much room up against the side of the engine as I can for if I fuck with headers and stuff. If you do headers and you've never done them before, it's a life of retorquing. Like, you're just kind of, you know what I'm saying? Especially when you first get the engine together. So it's nice to have clearance. Anyway, but here's what I did. I took this from out here and then a little bit past and brought it in. Custom made this. Cut it down, sliced it. You can't block it off, but this is as tight as you can make it, but worked out nice. Lots of clearance here. So we still have our heater function. It's not blocked off. You know, you still have your defrost. I can still daily this fucking thing, but there's no AC and I've obtained clearance. So quite happy with that. And again, there's our cable. Some of our cable controls for our climate. And if you have one of these trucks, check out my videos. Definitely subscribe because I've done a lot of shit. Oh, I'm going past the 10-minute mark, but fuck it. This is a 96. It had ABS style brakes. My part stroke was a 93. So what I did was I took the whole spindles, brake calipers, and master cylinder from my 93, which was the last year of the non-ABS shit, and put it together. Okay, so that's pretty wicked. All right, so we've got, yeah, non-ABS, and I like the non-ABS, these pin style hammer in ones. To me, it's just less. They're less problematic. Less chance. I've never had one stick. So that's that pretty much. And yeah, all the paint's just as cheap as you can get trim clad paint. I use tractor paint for the engine, and it's going to do what it does. It's going to be a daily driver. One thing I would like to do is tap into this for a cowl intake so I can get the cold air from up here and make my own air cleaner top piece, maybe out of aluminum or something. But fuck that, we got to get this thing done. So yeah, man, I really like this truck. And if you stuck around for the full 13 minutes, I broke my promise. But thanks, man. It's been a fun little trip. But yeah, these trucks are cool. If you have one or you want to get one, yeah, man, you're in a cool club.